What's going on with Kofi? I'm here with the updates that you need. Also, I did Google the name, and Google says it's Kofi. I think it's kind of potato if you call it coffee. I know originally it was like buy me a coffee, so people thought it was coffee. Whatever makes you happy. So I already made a short video about this covering a lot of the key points, but I couldn't fit all the information that I wanted to share with you guys in there because limitations to short form on social media. So I asked if you guys wanted me to make a longer video, and the overwhelming response was yes. Cool. However, if you didn't see my other video, let me catch you up to speed. Lately, there have been some changes going on with Kofi. If you don't know what Kofi is a rising competitor, very similar to Patreon, if you're familiar with that. Kofi has been slowly gaining popularity over the years, especially as they've added more features and changes on their platform, mostly off of the feedback that they got from their community, which was one of the giant reasons that they had started to gain that popularity, is because they actually listened to their community. Now, one of the things that set Kofi apart from Patreon is that Patreon has been kind of notorious for having astronomical fees and just making choices that aren't super in favor of the people using the platform. And that goes for the creator side and the consumer side. Now, I do believe that Kofi has always taken fees and had that as an option. So this isn't like a new thing, but their fees were much lower than Patreon, which was a big part of the reason that people had been switching over. I know that was a reason I jumped ship back in the day, because Patreon was taking over 10% of my earnings every month. But they also offered a thing called their Gold membership. That was a fee that was a set monthly amount that did not change, that you could pay to get access to premium features, including removal of all of their fees. Some of these premium features included being able to schedule posts, change the colors of your layout, all sorts of things like that. It was fun. It was a nice additional feature. Being able to, I believe, offer commissions, have a shop. Now, I'm not sure about the commissions and shop anymore because things have shifted. We'll get there. Now it almost seems like Kofi has taken a page out of Patreon's book, and not in a good way. So I don't know when this change actually took place, but it seems like they are trying to remove the option for a flat monthly payment for their Gold feature. Now they're trying to present the information as in, oh, you just pay 5% of everything and you get access to Gold and all of its features, which sounds pretty good up front. However, if you're a creator that is making a significant amount off of this platform, that is actually less cost effective than just paying the monthly fee. So the percentage base becomes problematic when you make a significant amount. Now, the perk of this is that 5% is rather low. If Kofi isn't your main source of income, or you're not making a significant amount, then it still seems like a pretty viable option. It does give you all the access to Gold. You don't have to commit any sort of monthly fee, which is great, especially if you're starting out and you don't really make enough to make that worth it. But another thing that I'm leaving out is that their fee used to be $6 a month. Now, $6 a month was really reasonable. I feel like $6 a month was a very fair ask. They've now doubled it to $12 a month. So if your card on file has expired, or you opt out of whatever your grandfathered plan is, like if you're getting charged yearly, which I believe they used to offer a discount for buying it in a year bulk. I don't think they're offering that anymore, by the way. So another thing that they've gotten rid of. Don't quote me on that one though, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't have the facts for that one. all these other points I do. So if you were already signed up for this yearly renewal of your gold membership and you got a new card or your card expired, they're not making it easy to just re-sign up. They don't really have that option. You have to go through a bunch of hoops. In fact, when you go to their site, you can't even find a place that you can click on to get to that link. It just says, oh, you don't need that anymore for Kofi Gold. You need this, which almost makes it seem like they don't even want people to know that there is a monthly cost. So even it being $12 a month, it can still be a benefit if you are making a significant amount. That is still a lot less than 5% of your income if you meet a certain threshold. So for the people, again, that were really utilizing this, I would say especially for like commissions, this is going to be really detrimental. I also really wanted to cover just a lot of the pros and cons to this because it's not all bad, truly. There is a lot of options still. I still feel like Kofi is a much better alternative than Patreon. Also, all of these prices that I'm listing are in USD. I am in the United States, so when I am referring to these prices, they're in American dollars. Based on the feedback that I've been getting from people who are grandfathered in with the $6 price, it seems like if you renew at that $6 price or you have a card on file that is still working, they will honor that. So it really just depends on how much you're making on if you feel like that's worth it. I've also dug through their social media pretty extensively, and I haven't seen any sort of like announcement or discussion or anything where they're really bringing up the fact that they've made these pretty dramatic changes. I also checked my emails. I mean, my notifications on Kofi. I didn't see any sort of like update about this. And if I missed something that you guys have seen or have found or do find, please do let me know. Like, I would love to see it. Now, that sort of tells me that they aren't super proud or excited to share that information. It almost feels like they were kind of intuitively expecting it to not be well received. Because in my experience, when a company makes a change that they really feel like is positive or beneficial, they really want to share that. They really are excited to share that. Especially a platform like Kofi, which in the past has just been so great about communicating with its audience, taking that feedback and really like making positive changes. I also don't know what's going on behind the scene. For all we know, they could have gotten like another contributor financially that wanted to make some changes to the platform. So they kind of had their hands tied. I don't know how much of this is derived in them just wanting to make more money or things that were outside of their control. I don't know. It also seems like they have taken away the ability to gift gold to other creators, which was one of the things that I was actually able to find when I was doing my digging. So they don't talk about all the changes to gold, but they do talk about the fact that they are removing the ability to gift creators gold, which I also feel like is kind of shitty. So these are pretty much the options that you're left with for Kofi after the recent changes. There is Kofi Free, where you don't get to have any of the fun perks of gold. You don't get to schedule posts. I think you still have access to commissions and the shop, but I'm not sure on that one. But you can't change the colors of your page. And you do still lose the 5% on memberships, commissions, shop, but I think that's it. However, they don't take the 5% fee from the donations. Now, I'm only saying donations because that is the language that they use in their information. I normally refer to these as tips, as we are not charities, but I digress. I will be using donation as the language for the remainder of this video for the sake of consistency. Second is Kofi Contributor. So you get all the benefits of gold. This is the thing that they are really wanting people to do. So you can schedule posts, you can change your colors, you get the commissions, the shop, the memberships. Again, not sure if those are available on free. I'm pretty sure they are, but please don't quote me on that because I used to have gold and then I didn't have gold anymore. So I'm not sure if that's just something where it's like I already had it, so it stayed. If you guys know, let me know. But then they take 5% of everything. So everything I previously mentioned, and also your donations. The final option, if you can get to it, is Kofi Gold, which is now $12 a month. And that does include all of the features, the scheduling, the colors, everything, but at a flat price, just at a higher rate, unless you're grandfathered in. Now, if you're not really sure where you're sitting with what fees are taken, I know that if you use PayPal for your payouts, you can look into your PayPal transaction history and you should be able to click on the individual payout and see something called a partner fee. That will be that percentage fee that Kofi is taking. So if you want to verify that the fee isn't being taken or is being taken, that's a way that you can do it, at least through PayPal. Other forms of payment, I'm not 100% sure. I would assume that it would also pop up similarly to like a partner fee. So effectively, if you're like, oh my gosh, do I make enough for this to be worth it? What should I do? This would be my suggestion. You need to be making at least $120 a month pretty consistently for the $6 tier to be worth it. You need to be making at least $240 a month pretty consistently for the $12 tier to be worth it. I feel like this affects more so the people that use Kofi for their commissions because they did make taking and doing commissions so much easier. They really streamlined the process. Like, I truly have nothing but positive things to say about how they've set up commissions. So if you're doing a lot of commissions on Kofi, I could really see that 240 being like, oh my God, yeah, no, I definitely need the Kofi Gold. Other than that, if you're making not as much off of it, or you're just like not really sure what you're doing, you're still kind of experimenting and figuring out like what you want to do with your Kofi, because there are a lot of options. You know, you can do memberships like a Patreon, you can just use it for commissions, you can run a shop, you can do all three. It just depends on what you want to do for your community and the type of creator you are. So if you're kind of sitting there, I would say that the Kofi free or the contributor option is great depending on what you feel comfortable with. Now, I'm guessing that once you say, I want to be a contributor, because it is an option that you can opt into, that you probably can't go back to Kofi free after that. Again, not sure. This is just speculation. So just depending on how much you want to do with Kofi, if you want to have access to those premium features like scheduling posts can be really handy and convenient, that might actually be worth it for you. It just depends on what you want to do. There are options. So if you go to the Kofi page now, this is what you're going to see. You can scroll through and they're going to tell you all the details on how they break down the fees and whatnot on what's offered. I still feel like it's a little bit confusing, but it does offer more information than I covered here. So if that appeals to you, then this would be a place that you could check out. So if you're looking for more information, that's where I would direct you to. So just in closing, I want to reiterate that I don't think that Kofi is a bad platform. I understand that as platforms grow, they do require more resources, and sometimes that means shifting what they offer in order to change their revenue. I just hope that they are doing it for the right reasons, and more than anything, I'm just bothered at the lack of transparency and communication that I kind of expected from Kofi, especially with how much I've recommended them over the years. This was really disappointing. But it is really nice that they're offering the contributor option so that if you are okay with that, that makes sense for you, that you can still access all the gold features without having to pay that monthly fee. I think that it has a lot of potential to be good. I'm just upset at the way that they went about it. I would still recommend Kofi over Patreon any day. I personally am not sure what I'm going to be doing with my Kofi moving forward. I'm kind of reformatting everything and trying to figure out the direction I want to take with it now that these changes have gone into place. I hope that with these changes that Kofi takes all of the feedback and does something positive with it. I hope that this was helpful and informative. There was so many things that I wanted to cover that I couldn't in the short video, so this really gave me an opportunity to cover a lot more of the issues that I didn't have time to discuss in the long format. I'm still kind of like dumbfounded that I haven't heard anybody else talking about this. Like, I looked through YouTube, I looked through TikTok, no one's talking about this, and I'm sort of surprised. I'm definitely not the person that's typically like breaking information, you know what I mean? Thank you to all the people that responded and engaged with the original video so that I knew that there was interest in all of this. So I hope that you all will consider all of this. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really new to these types of videos and making long form content. If you have any other questions or things that I could potentially have the answers to, please leave them in the comments. And of course, remember to stay informed and stay cute.